Hey guys, welcome back to the coast. Today's video is going to be about how I achieved this beautiful look. It's super cute, super soft, and super delicate or whatever. It's a nice pink look. I'm obsessed with it. And I know you guys will be too when you see how easy and fast it is to achieve it. If you want to see the details on how I got it to look this way, y'all keep watching and I'll see you guys on the other side. So we're going to start off with moisturizing our face. I'm using the Omega Water Cream from the Inky list. It's one of the most affordable hydrating moisturizers in Sephora. So if you are a Sephora shopper, I would say check that out. Or something from The Ordinary is really good as well. I went ahead and used the Bobbi Brown primer. It is a moisturizer as well as a primer. I use it because I have pretty normal skin, but I like to make sure my face is nice and moisturized. And then I also use the primer from Smashbox Photo Finish. It always gives me a nice, beautiful finish to my looks, and so I use that. So right here, I am concealing my eyelids. I'm using this as just as a base. If you guys want to know how I did my eyebrows, I have an eyebrow video that I will link for you guys. But as you can see, I am using a concealer brush to buff in this concealer shade. Bésame, Bacabali. I'm using it to stipple in this concealer shade. I'm bringing it all the way up to my brows. Yes, it looks messy, but I am going to be cleaning it up with foundation. So right here, I'm using the Milk eyeshadow primer. I like to put it on my eyelid as well as under my eye, because under my eye gets a little oily. When I put in the eyeshadow there, it tends to like crack and get real oily. So I just put a little primer just to see how it works. But yeah, so the first shade here I got that from the Zulu palette. I applied it all over the lid, at least the top portion of my lid, but I also left just a little bit of that concealer peeking out. As you can see, this shade is a little bit brighter than the other shade on the other side of my eye. I don't know why that happened, how that happened. I must have mixed something with the first color. I don't know, but don't worry about that shade, because what we want is this particular shade right here, okay? This is where I start noticing, wait a minute, what happened? Because these two don't look the same. Yeah, I was confused. I didn't know what I did. I was just like, what? Anyways, I just went back over with that same shade, just to kind of give it more of a warmer look, because it was looking a little cool. So I just had to add some more. And then I blended the other side a little bit more just to kind of tone it down as well, so that they could both look even and cohesive. So I'm just using a little bit of that concealer shade that first concealer shade that I used in the middle of my eyelids, and then I'm buffing it in with the concealer brush from before. This is going to act as like clean canvas so that we can add the colors on and the colors will pop just a little bit more. The second shade that I'm adding here is that pink, bright pink color from the Zulu palette. I am adding it not directly towards the end, but I gave it just a little bit of space from the back of my eyelid to the middle of it. And you can see that I'm moving in a diagonal motion. I'm not going directly straight up. I am curving the way I'm placing that eyeshadow. So you can see that it's going from the bottom of my lash line to the middle crease of my eyelid. And I'm moving almost in a not a U, but like a C shape kind of. Then I take the darker shade, which is a combination of two colors from my Jaclyn Hill palette. It's a very old palette, but you can still find it. I mix those two colors and I am placing it in the crease of my brow. Sorry, the crease of my eyelid, and I'm bringing it down to the lower lash line. So in the shape of a C. So this is more like C shape, but it goes directly from the bottom of the lash line over that pink shade into that crease. I'm just going back here and I'm just adding more pink because once you start to see the colors that you add on disappear, you're always going to want to go back and just add a little bit more product to your brush and just, very softly though. You don't want to go too harsh because when you're going too hard, you're going to take away product. So very softly, you're going to go ahead and get back into that color and then tap it onto your lid. So this color, this is the last shade that we're going to be using. This one has more of a shimmer. And when it comes to shimmers, you want to use them closer to the inner corner of the eye or even on top of a matte shade. You don't want to do shimmer on shimmer on shimmer, and you don't want to do, I mean, you can do matte on top of matte, but the shimmer always gives it a little pop. But yeah, this is like a nice, cute little shimmer red shade. Got a little pink in it, got a little red in it. And so it's perfect to add on top of here. What you see me doing is I'm not completely getting rid of that pink shade. I'm simply just blending the the red shimmer in with the pink. And then I go back with the first shade that I applied. I go back with that brush. For the darker shade, I did add more product because I felt like that one was almost disappearing. Here on this brow, you can see that I was mutting it. I put way too much on there. But I am going to go ahead and soften it up by adding a little bit more pink and then, adding a little bit more of that red wherever I see fit. So that's the key to this. You just need to apply the product where you see fit and don't be afraid to blend, 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 blend. Not harshly, very lightly with a light touch. You want to blend with the edge of the brush, not with the middle of it, not like pushing down on it, but just very lightly, almost like feathering the brush over the shade, just very, very lightly. As you can see here, everything I'm doing here is with a light hand. I'm not one of those harsh look makeup artists, so I like everything to look nice and soft, so I'm always going with a very light and soft hand. This look is really just knowing when and how much product to add because I'm adding little by little and just doing some blending. If the shade that I added looks a little too dark, I do go a little bit rough with the blending, almost to kind of just remove some of the shade. You just got to blend and take your time. This eyeliner. I've had this eyeliner for a long time actually. It's really good because I've had it for a long time and it's still pretty like just wet. It's good. But yeah, I'm just adding it as close as I can to my lash line, just a little bit above because I'm not like a major eyeliner girl, but I do like it because when I add my falsies, it does give you a nice blend to my lashes and the false lashes. So guys, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This video was so stressful to make because I was alone with the kids at one point and they really did a number on me. It's a point where my daughter dropped the camera. I had to get up, get the baby. The camera kept dying. The memory card was full. It was just a hot mess. And so as I was editing it, I noticed that there was a lot of parts missing. And I'm just like, what happens to this? So as you can see, this is one of the parts. I went from no foundation or nothing like that to a full face of foundation and conceal half of my concealer already blended in. So I am using the ABH foundation. I think the shade is 500C, and I am using the same concealer that I use for my eyeshadow base. That is the main concealer color. The other color that I have around my lip, I have no idea which one that was. I'm so sorry, y'all. I can't even begin to remember which shade that was. But you just want to use something that has like kind of like a warm tone to it, because I'm using it as a color corrector here in this spot and some of the other places that I had put it on. I feel like the other side was more full, more full. I guess that's the only way to say it. More full than this side. And so I just added a little bit more concealer, and I'm giving it a little bit of time to dry. With concealer, the trick is if you want to give yourself a nice full coverage, give it some time to get a little dry. And even if it gets too dry, you can always spray your brush with a little bit of setting spray, and then it'll blend out nicely. I am now applying my bronzer. It's a cream bronzer. It's a bronzer, but I'm using it as contour because I don't know where I used to use a different contour shade and I don't remember what it was. And I like this contour shade, but I just feel like it's a little too dark. Like it's too cool, not dark. It's a little too cool for me because I have more of a warm neutral tone, and this is more of a neutral cool tone. I use it because it works, but it's not my favorite. It wouldn't be my first pick. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I am a visual learner and a visual teacher. I have mentioned this all the time. I am a visual learner and a visual teacher. So me trying to give y'all this like talk through is a little rough. And I get distracted. I low-key might have ADHD. This right here, this bronzer, one of my favorite bronzers of all time. Every time I run out, I will always get another one because it is chef's kiss, y'all boys. Chef's kiss. I don't even know what I don't know. I don't know, but all I know is that one is so pretty. And you can't, it's not the contour shade that I put under it is not doing it any justice. So you can't really see it, but y'all, I'm going to do a video where I'm just using that bronzer. I'm not going to use any cream contour. I'm just going to use that one and you will see the difference. It looks so good. Anyways, I mixed two colors to get my setting powder, both from Laura Mercier. I used two of the colors, the medium deep and the translucent honey. I used those and I applied them everywhere where I concealed very lightly. I'm not a baking girl. I'm just going back over. Y'all see me running my mouth? I'm talking on the phone and I am running my mouth. I'm like, as I'm editing this, I'm listening to the conversation and I'm like responding to myself like, and I'm like, wait a minute. What's wrong with you, girl? But yeah, I be talking. What I'm doing here, I'm just pretty much just going back over everything and just defining everything more. Here it looks like I'm using that cream bronzer again on my nose, but I'm just using a more defining brush. And this brush here has no product on it. I'm just using it to blend because I noticed that the other brush had too much product on it. And if I kept using it, it was just gonna look like a muddy mess. So I just got a clean brush and I used it to blend in that contour shade. And then I'm going back with this brush. This is what I use to blend my concealer with. And so I'm just lightly tapping over the contour shade where I felt like it was too much, just so I can kind of like tighten up that contour just a little bit. Blending is key, y'all. I promise you. I didn't cut too much of this video out because I want y'all to see me blending. As long as you blend, you're gonna be all right. I realize that your face might look a little dry and you might think, oh, this is a disaster. I promise you, once you put that setting spray on, everything will fall into place. Sometimes you might not put enough. If you still feel like after you put setting spray on, and not a fixing spray, because the fixing spray, you done if you spray it on your face. A setting spray that will melt your face together and it'll make everything look nice and cohesive. This is what you're going to use before you put your fixing spray, okay? So make sure you're using a nice setting spray. I'm using a mattifying misting setting spray. Really nice. And it really brings the look together for me. At one point, I was over it because I was like, oh my God, I hate this look. It looks so ugly. And the kids were stressing me out. And so I just was like, I'm done with this. I'm so done. But once I sprayed that setting spray, okay, I was back in the game. Yeah, so I'm using these lashes. I don't remember where they're from. If I do remember, I'll go ahead and tag them in the description. But I think they already had adhesive on it. And I was just so impressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this a new thing? Comment below if you guys have tried any lashes that come with adhesive already on there, because this was very convenient. Yeah, my blush, I apply blush everywhere, and I I am not like, I don't play. Like, I love blush. So this is another spot where you can see that some of my footage was deleted, or I don't even know what happened to it. It just disappeared. I lined my lips with a brown lip liner. You can use any lip liners. If you guys have any questions on like lip liner preferences, put it in the comments and I'll send you guys a list of a few lip liners that I like to use, or I might make a video out of it. And then I use a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, and then I put a little bit of a gloss over it. And then obviously I'm going to keep setting my face, a little more setting spray. And that will, I'm telling y'all, that melts the face. It brings the look together. This is the finishing touch right here. You gotta put your highlight in, because if you don't, it's always gonna feel like something's missing. Normally I highlight my inner corner, bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, the sides of my face, and I usually do my forehead and my chin as well. I don't know why I didn't do it today here. I might have been over it because it was a rough recording session. I might have been over it, but normally I do my forehead as well as my chin. It looks like I did my forehead, but I did not. Believe me, I didn't. I don't know. My forehead and my chin have been a little oily more lately, and so I think that might be why I haven't felt the need to highlight those areas. But yeah, highlight your forehead, your chin, your cheeks, your inner corners, your bridge of your nose, and the point of your nose. It makes a big difference, trust me. All right, that's the finished look, guys. See you next time here at the coast.